Welcome back to the DJI Recovery Podcast. I'm Mike.
Hey, and I'm Kevin. On this week's podcast, we talk about everything from the comments you've left on our channel. But the big question that we unpack is whether the market is too saturated for me if I'm just getting started, and what kind of analysis can I do to figure that out. So stick around. You don't want to miss it.
You're already this morning on the phone trying to get a bunch of logistic stuff figured out with the drones and stuff this morning.
Yep. And last night. I mean,
yeah. Like the last few weeks, as far as like getting drones out the door, was probably some of the most stressful stuff that we've been dealing with.
Yes, it's super stressful, and I feel bad for our customers because we only, but like this week or last week, you flew. Like we had drones sitting in a warehouse somewhere in another state.
Yep.
It's not working. We got to have them shipped out.
It wasn't the supplier's fault on that one. It was the shipper, like the freight company wouldn't show up to pick it up.
Ready for pickup.
Yeah.
Day one, nothing happens. Day two, nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
No.
People need these drones.
Yeah. If it's like if I order something, I want it as soon as possible. And if you're sitting there for a couple weeks, you start getting tired of it.
Yeah.
But and here's the deal. Like we grew so fast, we are shorthanded in every department. I mean, everybody has more than they can handle on their plate. Like myself, my wife Karen, she does the billing and stuff, and it's just us. Austin's been doing stuff like he's getting probably more than he's used to, and it's like it's because of how fast we're growing it, and we do appreciate the support.
100%,
sincerely, like I mean that
yeah.
a lot. Like if you are getting into doing drone deer recovery and you're buying your kits from the DroneDeerRecovery.com, it's like. We want to be the best service we can to you to try to, we want to help you, lead you, and educate you in this industry. And so that's what we're, that's what we're here for. Although I'm sure you guys are going to be like, reaching out to us like, I haven't got much help or I've been, not heard.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah. We get it. We're sorry. It's a combination of working really hard to address those issues as well as build the customer experience so that it's actually smooth. So you have the information you need when you need it.
Yep.
And it's, building, like right now, Mike has so much knowledge inside your head.
Yeah. It's,
figuring out how do we get that onto places where the entire team has access to answer questions and remove some bottlenecks. And to that end, I mean, we are in the process, like right now, adding 3 people to our team in the next 2 weeks.
That'll be exciting because I can't wait. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, and this, I mean, just if we were just like put on our entrepreneur hat for a second, I think we have the same question, Mike, that a lot of people do. Is like, is this drone thing going to keep growing? Is it, is it really viable?
Yeah, I think it absolutely will continue to grow. Like. As far as the industry of drones will continue to grow, people ask the question, like, is the market becoming saturated? Mm-hmm. There's 100% more drones this year than it was last year because last year there was no market. And then you guys started watching the videos on YouTube and Instagram, TikTok, and it's like it gave a bunch of people, probably hundreds, maybe 1,000 people, the idea of doing drone deer recovery, which is awesome. And now it starts to look like, oh my gosh, there's all these people doing it. Like, is it worth it for me to get in it as well? And I would say absolutely. Like Austin was saying earlier, he's like, if you decide to want to start to sell cell phones, right? Mm-hmm. Become a distributor of cell phones. Like people are still doing that, but the market is saturated, right?
Yeah.
Like there's enough out there. Yeah. It's like when you see a new provider come to the market, like Mint Mobile, all of a sudden is doing a lot of advertising. It's like, how in the world do they ever think that they're going to, get customers?
Yeah. Who doesn't have a phone?
Right.
Yeah.
But they're for the entrepreneur, the guy, the go-getter, that wants to go out and get it. It's not just drone deer recovery, right? Like you can use your thermal drone for so many other things outside of just doing deer recovery. Mm-hmm. Like, so to think that the market is saturated, it's a long way from there.
Yeah. And for sure, like the licensing that you go to the work to get the Part 107, the Part 137.
You're saying 137 if you get into
right.
agriculture.
I'm saying all these different licenses It's a good investment because right now maybe you only use it for deer recovery or something else.
Yeah.
But there's more, like, over the next couple of years, what drones are able to do and the services that you're able to offer by being one of the first.
Yep.
It's going to continue to grow. And so that investment in time and licensing,
Yep.
It's going to be like, I think for, something that's kind of exciting, Mike, with our company's vision of helping move the industry forward, educate, help, train, inspire, like what we want to do is see thousands of new businesses.
Yep.
And maybe for some of you, drone deer is just a launching point to a business that you build around mapping or photography or
because like you start getting into like LiDAR. I know that the M30T isn't really built for LiDAR, but get started in the drone industry is going to open it up for so much more down the road, like what you might be able to get into if you start getting a bunch of flight time doing deer recovery with the M30T, and then decide down the road that somebody approached you about doing LiDAR and mapping and that type of stuff. That's a whole different ballgame, because when you start going and talking to big mining companies where they're gonna excavate this 200-acre hill, like start doing some LiDAR on that stuff.
People don't understand.
Yeah. And then what about drone delivery probably coming in the future? No, that like there's seriously programs right now that UPS is running in Florida, I believe it is, on using drones to do delivery. They're gonna need pilots to do that stuff. So
one thing that I was asked yesterday on a phone call, what's something that you would tell people getting started in this business? And I would tell you, I think if you're a drone pilot, you do deer recovery, you do another thermal service or drone service, really part of your job, honestly, because we're so early in the curve of drones becoming mainstream and being adopted, part of your job is to be an educator. Like Mike, it's what you do. Even now, hunters call, they've seen videos, but they don't understand how it works. There's the aspect of educating people, because it's a whole new world.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like if you, watch the videos and you educate it yourself, you're going to come across hundreds, probably 1,000 people that are going to ask you the same question. Like, how long after a deer is shot can you, find it with a thermal? And so everybody that's in this game right now, from Wisconsin to Florida to New York to Oklahoma or Texas or other parts of the states, they are getting asked the same question as I am. So you as a drone pilot are educating everybody else that's around you.
Yep.
So
and you got to see that as building trust is so important right now in this industry, because if for the first time somebody hires you to come do a roof or inspect their property for a deer count or whatever, just you providing herd analysis, providing education on what to expect, how it works, and maybe even doing some demonstrations for free or just showing people.
I definitely believe that there you will have to do some certain missions for free to show them how good the technology works. Like I was just thinking while you were telling me that, like I believe that most insurance agencies for their adjusters and contractors and those types of guys will have a drone in their truck or car to do inspections. So let's say, big storm goes through. I just heard there was a tornado that went through Tennessee last week. Like, that's sad, but like a bunch of that inspection work can be done with drones. Totally.
Yep. You have it's really, we get to be pioneers in a whole new industry.
Yeah. I just had a guy call me the other day, and he was talking about using drones inside of a power plant, like where they produce power for the grid, and they fly drones inside of I think he called it burners, like where they actually have probably burned coal or whatever to produce the power. They fly drones in there in ADI mode, so not GPS, but in ADI mode to inspect the walls. But he said it's like 3 football fields across. It's that big. So they have drones on the inside to, inspect those things. Because who wants to get on a ladder and climb up this thing? Like, it just totally makes sense.
Makes sense.
When you look at the technology, and we circle back on this all the time, it's like is it going to be saturated? I don't believe so. There's always going to be new ways. New way ag. Ooh, that was a good one there. There's going to be new ways of how to use this technology.
Yeah.
Totally believe. So if somebody has a little bit of entrepreneurship inside of them and is motivated enough, there's work. There's work.
100%. Yep. And it might be just, deer might just be a seasonal job during the hunting season, but it opens up a whole new world of, with the knowledge that you have, your comfort level at flying drones, you're going to find things to do drone related, 100%.
Yeah, like the more people that know that you have a thermal drone, come springtime when they take their animals out for the first time because they were cooped up all winter and they get out of their, fence and they get lost, they're going to be like, oh yeah, that thermal drone guy, like maybe I can get him out to, help me find my lost cattle or whatever it might be. Those calls are happening. I was just talking to an operator in another state that he has been getting calls for pet recovery during drone deer recovery season. So it's like he's getting calls for other things.
Yeah, the craziest call I can remember for pet recovery was in the middle of Brooklyn. You remember that one? A cat escaped in the middle of Brooklyn, and a pet owner, I think, was... it was mileage, but they were wanting to, it was actually clear airspace on that one.
Yeah.
But they were going to pay, $900 or something. Yeah. Because they wanted to find their cat.
Yeah.
And it was in a park area of about, 1 block.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, how soon can you be? As we were waiting for night to come, the cat returned home.
Yeah. So, I mean, that we're just talking on thermal side of things and RGB type cameras, but when you start talking about agricultural, that there for sure will be a $1 billion industry in itself. Is just the agricultural side of drones. And most people that watch us, I believe, either are a farmer or have a buddy that's a farmer or know of a farmer, and the thermal drone pilots currently are already, interacting with those types of people, or they're out in those areas, right? When you're with a hunter, you're usually in agricultural type of space. And so I think if somebody is into thermal and you want to actually make this a life-changing business, agricultural is where it's going to be.
And so the seasons kind of are juxtapositioned perfectly. You got agricultural and the thermal season. And when you have people who've invested $500,000 in a spray rig, calling to say, I don't want to be left behind. I want to get into drones. Teach me how to do it. When you have helicopter pilots, transitioning over to flying drones. It's like all of this time investment licensing. It's like people are identifying that the future is going to be in drones, and they want to be a part of it at the very beginning. So that's the opportunity.
My mind just goes wild on the drone industries, because DJI just released they call it DJI Fly Cart. It is the T40 with a cable device that lowers a box, and you can put stuff in it, and it'll pull it back up, and then it can fly away.
I've not heard of this, Mike.
No, it's a thing, and it's like delivery. Yes, we can't do it right now with how FAA is, but I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. Where it's like a drone flies out there, lowers the thing, you put it, put whatever your luggage you have, away it goes. No, seriously, check it out. It's DJI's Fly Cart. What it's called.
Is it commercially available, or is it just
you can? I don't think you can get them in America yet, but they just released it to. It's another line of their drones.
No way.
Fly Cart. Yep.
Fly Cart.
Yep.
So, that's exciting. We have, and then isn't there also bigger drones in the works?
Bigger drones, meaning, there's a ton of bigger drones than what
DJI.
Well, there's new drones called the T60. That right there is we are just looking at the Fly Cart. You see how it hangs down?
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but there's DJI is already working on bigger drones. Right now in America, we can get what's called the T40.
Yep.
They talk about the T50 coming. I believe it is coming. It's just not available yet in the States. they tell us spring, but I wouldn't tell you to hold your breath because you might die if you hold your breath on DJI.
I mean, this is a good question, Mike. For people that are wanting to, have this next year, 2024, get into agricultural, how would you advise people? Like, should they wait for a bigger, better drone? Should they buy a drone now?
I don't think you should wait, because if you wait, you are behind the curve, right? Like, even if the technology that you buy this season isn't the best technology for the next season, the knowledge that you gain this season running that equipment, you're going to be so much further ahead than the next guy that waits to buy the T50, right? So I bought the T40s last year. We did drone deer recovery, and the experience we got with those drones, when the T50 gets here, yes, we're going to be better on that. Yeah. But if we'd wait, then we don't have the knowledge that we do already operating in T40. So I would say just figure it out.
And after the T50, wait another year and you have the T60.
Yeah, the
right?
T60. Yeah, because the T60 is already being manufactured and produced in China. You can fly it over there. But when they try to bring that stuff into America, they have to get all this approval from the government over here. So no, don't wait. That is if you want to do it long term. Like if you just want to do it as a side hobby and you want to go spray your food plot or something like that, maybe wait around. But you might be waiting for 10 years because every so many years a new piece of technology is going to come out, and you're always going to be waiting.
And for the guys that are wanting to do custom application, it's going to be helpful to have a backup drone. In fact, on our rigs, we're going to have a backup drone. So even if the T50 comes out and it's a lot better, you upgrade to that one. The T40 still has a role in just being backup for when the T50 is down for parts. And there's stuff people don't think about, like depending on the solution that you were spraying, it got gunked up and the sensors and you need to have it fixed immediately. So that's where
if you're custom applicator.
If you're a custom applicator and you have farmers depending on you, you have acres lined up, you have a short amount of time to get them done in. So I'd say a lot of like who we aim to serve is custom applicators, and then also farmers who are just going to use it for their own purposes.
Farmers are going to be a big market. Like basically, they are already buying, tens of thousands, millions of dollars worth of equipment. This piece of equipment is going to save them hundreds of thousands of dollars once they learn how to use it. And that's what we want to set ourselves up for, is to, help you, lead you, and educate you on your thermal and also agricultural drone setup. Because if you are a farmer and you have to learn new ways, it's going to take I did it again, new way. And you have to learn a new way to apply or how to spray your fields with a drone. It's going to take some time, and we're going to be here and we're going to try to help you get as efficient as possible. And that's the big word when you start talking about agricultural drones, is efficiency. Because when people hear a drone spraying 500 acres in a day, they're like, no way. Well, I'm here to tell you, yes way. Like, it can be done, but you have to do it efficiently. If you don't know how to run efficiently, the drone won't get that sprayed. So that's a huge part in this technology, is learning how to run it the most efficient way.
Yeah, something that I mean, you learn some with experience, but Mike, we went through trying to do it with the XAG. It's like when there's a new system, it takes 10 times longer to try to figure out yourself and troubleshoot than just to pick up the phone and call somebody. And that's what we want to become. And that's what we're hiring people to become.
We got to have a whole team, because the amount of questions we get right now from guys that have thermal drones, and I don't mind the calls, but is to get back to you. There's so many questions on it. And I'm telling you what, big drones, ag drones, agricultural side, there is a ton more. A ton more to learn than it is to have your thermal drone. But that's it can be taught.
I see us delivering drones and then spending half a day teaching people how to use them. I think that's probably something
I could see us honestly setting up a 3-day training conference, something where, because I don't think I can teach it all in one day. I mean, I might be able to go through it, but you to retain that information.
Got to get practice. You got to get the reps in.
Yep.
And actually, so switching over to the thermal side, like one thing that we've discussed, at least, a little bit this week is there interest in thermal drone pilots coming to spend a day with our team, with Mike and our team, and learn how to operate thermal drones for deer recovery the way that we do it? Is that something that, if we made that available for a one-day event and we hosted you, fed you, whatever, is that something that would be of interest? So I guess.
Yeah, well, like you're referring if we do that event, like, because I think there's even more people out there that, I've been doing it. You guys have been watching me, but there's other people that have maybe even more knowledge that can help and come in and help the whole community, become better in it. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of people that would like that. And if you do want to see that, leave some comments and let us know.
Yeah, because live events is something that we're planning for. We got plans, we got things in the works, and we're hiring people to help facilitate those things. So it'd be awesome to hear from you guys what kind of events would be worth you coming to. Because the whole industry is going to keep growing. And I think, Mike, you get super excited about this, and it's one of the most fulfilling calls that we get is just people who call us and tell us how they've been winning, with the drone, the knowledge, whatever that we were able to play a small part of. It's them doing the work. Let's not kid ourselves. But, we're get to play a small part of that, and it's fulfilling.
It is.
People are out there making money and they're winning. So.
I couldn't agree more. It's definitely fun getting those phone calls for sure.
So here's where we get to see what you guys have told us. What have you guys been saying? We get to respond to some comments that our producer has chosen. No idea what they are, but we'll jump right in.
Let's see.
I think you should go in the business of tracking down Bigfoot with the thermal imagery.
Yeah, we have actually talked about this. Seriously, there's a couple guys that have approached us on doing this.
Let's do it.
On a serious note, like there's a bunch of people that like are seriously invested in that. Everybody has an opinion.
What is your opinion? That's what people want to know. That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I think if he'd be out there and it's an actual thing, that the thermal drone's going to find him. If he's there.
Yeah, right. They can't keep hiding too many more decades because...
Well, that's the thing. They don't hide all the time, according to some of these people, because they are able to...
But what I'm saying is, if you think of thermal imagery 20 years from now, if in 20 years we haven't found Bigfoot, he does not exist.
Well, you better watch.
But see, I don't know anything.
Because, I was at an expo and a guy come up to me and is just dead set, 100%. He has seen Bigfoot 3 times in the last 50 years. And it's like, he gave me the location of it too. And I'm like, well, we could go see if we can find him. And so we talked about it. We probably should go see if we can find him, at least go to some of those conventions.
And you got to be there at the right time though, right?
That's the tricky thing. Yeah. Like, can you imagine sitting there for 50 years and only seeing him 3 times?
Yeah. I mean, but they, like for the Matrice, they have those landing pads now that charge it up.
Yep.
And you got to get an army of those out scouting for Bigfoot, and we'll find them.
Yeah, you could use the dock system the Matrice 30T, and have docks all set up across the counties.
That's what we got to do, man. Let's. What better investment than to find Bigfoot?
Yeah, Net Geo, if you're listening to this, reach out to us and we'll help you find Bigfoot. Or the organization that does that.
Does National Geographic, are they Bigfoot believers, you think?
I have no idea, but that's a good question. Do you believe that there's a Bigfoot, Austin? Like, I mean, I'm sure there's big feet around, but is that...
kind of put me on the spot, right?
Yeah. People want to know.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you believe it, Kevin? You asked me. No.
I mean...
You told me the other day you believe there's more Earth. Like, there's...
Okay. Yeah, so this is it.
So, do you believe there's a Bigfoot? If you believe there's other Earth, in the universe...
So Mike asked me, do I believe if there's life on another planet? Well,
no,
yeah.
I don't think I asked that. You started talking about aliens, and I was like, no, come on, guys. Like, you don't seriously believe that they're aliens.
I don't know. It's like... There hasn't been congressional hearings where special forces, CIA people have testified about Bigfoot the way there has been about aliens.
So maybe Bigfoot is an alien.
I mean, you've heard it here first. Yeah, that's probably what's up.
I don't know. But so you do believe that there's other
Earth?
I
I do believe there's aliens. Yep. Any way we can get thermal drones to like go look for them?
Oh my gosh.
We might have to raise the 400-foot limit.
But an alien is something that like lives on another planet.
Originated from another planet. Yeah.
Wow. We are just so far behind.
Be honest. Yeah, I have a harder time with Bigfoot than I do with aliens.
Huh.
Because Bigfoot. Why is there not a single clear image of Bigfoot? Like, what is with that creature, that man, whatever? Like,
or
why?
What about all the tens of thousands of trail cameras that are out all across America? Like,
why are there only ever blurry ones?
Yeah.
Like, at some point here, trail cams make it harder to believe. I'd agree with that. But in a decade, once everything is satellite, I don't know. We'll either find Bigfoot in the next decade, or we will say he does not exist.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I just thought of this. Do you think there will be thermal satellites at some point, where every part of the world is scanned in thermal?
Man, yeah.
Dude, you could do a whole herd count on your property by like just sitting at your computer and trying to count.
You literally just go onto Elon's thermal app.
And the only problem is you don't have RGB cameras. So, well, no, they could. They could switch
I'm sure they
over.
would. Yeah, they probably have a different satellite for each one.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, we're getting out there now. Yeah, okay, we're moving on.
Hey, we hunt just 1 mile from an airport. Can drones still fly? Planes fly right over us on landing patterns.
Depends how big that airport is. Probably not. Almost all airports have a circle around them that is controlled airspace, even if it is a really small airport. If they have like instrument approaches where they can fly in there when it's super cloudy or something like that, highly unlikely that you can launch your drone. You can launch it if you get a Lance from the FAA. Basically, you have to fill out a form. You can do it on air control, where you tell them what time you're flying, how far you're flying. Do you have a VO with you? Is it a sole pilot mission? Like, you fill out that form, you send it off to the FAA. They usually try to get back to you within 48 hours. So there are scenarios that if you are within an airport, radius, you will be able to fly. It just takes longer to get the approval. And most DJI drones are geo-locked. So they have geo-fences already built into the software of the drones. And so you couldn't even take off if you are in that area unless it's been unlocked. And there's a couple different ways to unlock that. I don't think I should tell you how to unlock that because you should educate yourself and see the safety risks that are involved once you do unlock your drone.
And it's worth saying, right, that the process of unlocking the drone means you're going on record with DJI, with the FAA on, you flying in this restricted area.
Yes.
So anything happens,
black
SUVs are going to pull up, basically.
Black SUVs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen the FAA in black SUVs? Yeah, it sounds like you're in the Secret Service.
Just saying, it's not something to trifle with. It's flying restricted airspace. And I love this question because the more that the industry grows and the more mature that we get as drone pilots, airspace awareness is going to be an increasingly important thing. So, great question.
It is a good question. We actually had a call, and I worked hard to try to get clearance to fly it was Class Charlie airspace. So Class Charlie is where big airliners and stuff fly into. And I was just off of the approach end of the runway, about a mile off of it, and right in the approach. So I tried my best to try to get clearance, and I needed to get it quickly because this deer was already shot 24 hours before they called me. And I went through all the loops and talked with the tower and talked with the FAA and FSDO and inspectors, and there's nothing they can do to give you approval right then and there. So it has to be a paper process. I think that paper process is to have record of, if something were to go wrong. And unfortunately, I was not able to get that approval. And so,
did it come back then too late, or was it just
I
not
never,
approved?
I never even applied because I basically kept the hunter in the loop and was like, I'll try to get this approved today. You know, with me being an instrument pilot and a private pilot, and talking to the towers, I was going to have a VO on the radios, and we were going to navigate this thing. I believe I could have done it safely. They just couldn't give me approval unless it went through the FAA. Yep. Even though I talked to everybody I needed to talk to, right? Like if I'd be talking to Tower, they know I'm there. I talked to FISDO, their service, was it like a service supervisor or something like that? And he basically said, I think it's a great idea. I just can't give you that approval. You're going to have to do it through the FAA.
Yep.
So, that one I never went to look for, and I never heard if the hunter was able to recover it. But good question. I appreciate that.
I think you should just give a little education to the average drone flyer. Like, how can they find? Maybe they don't want to get permission, but how do they find?
Well, I told him earlier in this question about where you find, what is the airspace. There's an app called Air Control that you can download on your phone. It 2 words, air and then control. And then you create an account in there, and then you can use your location where you're at and zoom around on it on like in America, or I don't know if it's available in other countries, but Air Control will show you where airspace is, and it'll give you blocks within inside of that airspace on what the altitude restrictions are. Like, even though I'm in Class Charlie airspace, like let's say I go up to Canton and I'm in Class Charlie airspace, that doesn't necessarily mean I can't fly there. It just means I can't fly certain altitudes. So, yeah.
Like the ceiling is lower. Yeah.
Kevin's got it pulled up here. So that's Class Charlie right there.
So I'm looking at, like you have different colors of circles with different levels of airspace control. And
now keep zooming in there, and then you see how those boxes?
Yeah.
So if you're inside that box, then you can only go to 100 feet. But if you're within,
so if you're looking at the map, you're going to see the big circle around the airport has 400, 400, 400, 100, 200 feet.
Yep.
And then you're free to fly up to that altitude.
Yeah.
With any kind of permit, or just it's free up to that. I mean,
but here's the deal. Like you can fly up to that altitude, but if you are concerned that you're on the approach end, I would say still notify. Like fill out a lance. It is that easy. So
you can do that in the app.
Yeah, you can do that in the app.
There's a tab for it.
Yep.
You put, if you're a Part 107 or recreational.
If you have time to do that. If you don't have time and you want to launch, like give yourself a safety buffer. If they tell you can go up to 200 feet, I would say set your altitude at 190 or 195. Don't push that limit of 200 just because like if they do have scanners and they have your remote ID that's linked to every drone that's now sold in America, you might get
be
seen.
safe. Be safe. Yeah, it makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yep. What's next?
Great podcast. Good luck in your first drone deer recovery, Kevin.
Will that ever happen, do you think?
I don't know. We're so busy developing all these things that we need to help with customer service. I think, we have to get you out.
Yeah, the hunting season ends end of January.
Here in Ohio, it's the first Saturday in February.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit of time, but...
Yeah, we'll probably push that off for another couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then
after that, probably another couple weeks. Yeah. So
it's good to have deadlines like this. So.
Yeah. And you guys staying on him. That's good too. It's like, okay, like we haven't done this yet. And we told them we probably will.
Because that one day I was so pumped up. I told you, hey, I'm going to come get your bow.
Because you watched my hunt.
Yeah. It's like, man, that seems like...
You never even picked up the bow.
Well, you never texted me back that I should come get it.
Oh, yeah. We're going to blame it on me. The bow is literally hanging right over there if you want to go grab it.
Yeah, I should. Yeah,
we should actually go get it and see if you can even pull it back.
Ooh. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh,
I know that you shouldn't let it go if there's not an arrow in it.
Yeah, definitely.
So
not.
I'll be right back.
Are you actually going to get it? Okay, I'll teach you how to. You got to. It's the one that's kind of like green, not the purple one. That's my wife's. It's hanging right when you get inside the door on the left. Wait, do you think he'll be able to pull it back, Austin? What? Do you think he'll be able to pull it back?
I don't know. I wasn't able to pull back mine the first time.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what this one's set to. I think this one's like a 60 pound drawback. You're going to first put on this release. Are you right hand or left hand?
I mean, I feel like I'm this kind of a hand.
Okay, yep. So you're right hand shooting. So take this off. I'll hold this. That's called a release.
So I'm putting this on this hand, am I not?
Yep. Putting it on there.
Mm-hmm. See, I know how to do this.
Oh, you do know how to do this? Have you done this?
I've never done this.
You're seeing it first live on the Drone Deer Recovery Podcast. Kevin is going to try to... Okay, he's struggling already. Put your arm up here so we can watch you struggle. He's struggling already just putting this on.
This is harder than flying a drone.
Okay, he's about to get the... Okay, so
Boom.
he's got... So you don't want that too tight. You want a little loose. Yeah, that's probably good there. Yep. Okay, so super important when you put that, so you put that on there like such. Yep. Oh, for the guys that aren't watching this on YouTube, you can't see what he's doing. So make sure you keep your finger behind it.
Yeah.
If you even just slightly touch that thing, so just close your hand like that. Yep, like that. Just don't even think about touching that. And then
is this like? I mean, this is your bow. Is this a
that-
special bow?
I mean, it's not really that special. It's not heavy.
Is it custom or anything? Or I mean, if I ruin it, basically, how much in trouble am I?
I can get probably new limbs and a string.
Okay,
for
so
it,
no worries.
Okay, go ahead and. Can you step back there? What if it flies apart and
Should I fling it at the camera?
No. Like, I just don't shoot it. Like.
I mean, I'm not. As long as I have my hand here, I'm not gonna shoot.
Okay. Yeah. But you're making me nervous.
Can I get an arrow?
Okay, come on, just pull. See. Okay, now hold it, because now you don't have any weight holding.
Feels...
Yep. So.
Oh.
Yeah. See. Yeah, that right there.
So you gotta actually keep pulling back a little bit.
Oh yeah. So
So here, man, then you're gonna like shave off part of your mustache here.
Oh, you have an anchor point always in the same anchor.
I mean, I can, man. If that was a deer,
You think you could shoot him?
Which one am I aiming? The red one or the green one?
The very top pin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd take us a little bit of time. Right now, if you let that fly, you're gonna snap your arm. Like it's gonna hit your arm.
I will gently.
Yeah. Hey, you did it. Pulled back his first time ever compound bow live on the Drone Deer Recovery Podcast. Did it feel good?
I mean, if it feels good.
I think the draw weight or the draw length is too long for you.
Because I have to like hold it way back here. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and when I draw it back, when I come to lock, because you basically lock your shoulders, that corner of the string sets up right here at the peak of my mouth, where yours is setting up back on your cheek. So I think this is a little too long for you.
Cool.
But, I mean, Austin even struggled trying to shoot this bow. Yeah, but
For listeners, where they can go if they want to watch it.
oh, where they want to. Yeah, if you guys are listening to this and you're not watching it, you can watch it on YouTube. The podcast is live on YouTube. But for the ones that were watching it and the ones that want to see it, YouTube.
But let's be honest. If you haven't been watching the podcast on YouTube, this is not a good reason to start. I mean, this was not that exciting. I'm going to be honest.
No, it wasn't that exciting. But, dude, see, that's what's crazy, though. Like, you're in this space of hunting, and we talk about it all the time. Like, you never grew up around this.
Never grew up around it, yeah.
So, like,
yeah.
Something about it just seems crazy that I met you that day at the little coffee shop.
Yeah, that was... We had a Christmas party last week, and we kind of talked about the story, and we have a video that's coming out. You don't want to miss that one.
Oh, yeah. Should we tell them what they can do?
I just think we got to tell them that.
Oh, no, because this comes out on Friday, and so we don't know.
Right. So that video's dropping the 25th. It's dropping on Christmas Day.
Okay, yeah.
And you have got to watch it to the end.
If you want a chance, we can tell them, right?
Might as well tell them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so you're going to want to watch that video and see what you have to do, but we're going to give a drone away.
We're gonna pick someone.
Steps.
Yep, yeah. We're gonna pick someone who wants to get into the drone space, and then we're gonna give them a drone as well as training from our team. And
but you got to watch that video to see how to get entered. Yeah. So make
Should-
sure to
should be
watch
good.
that. And that's probably only for the people that really listen to this point are
Right.
going to watch it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. What else we got there, Austin?
Braden should start a podcast.
Yeah, Braden talked good. Like he was a little. He said, "I'm not good on podcasts because I don't know what to talk about or something like that." And I thought he did great.
He was like, Mike, what do we talk about? Well,
We
and-
sat here for an hour or something, and it was basically like we could have kept going.
yeah. And
So-
there were steaks waiting to be
Oh,
made,
yeah, steaks.
juicy
Yep,
steaks.
yep.
And yeah, you guys really went at
No,
it.
I think Braden would be a great podcast host.
Yeah,
He
agreed.
should try it if he wanted to, but of course there's like
The man is busy.
yeah, the man is busy, and you want to talk about a market that's saturated?
What market?
Podcast market.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yep. Yeah, there are a lot of podcasts. Yep.
Yeah. There's a podcast for every.
Virginia, you cannot
Wow.
have it until the next day after we fly. Totally fine with that.
Wow.
Why did you pick that voice? Like,
of all the
oh my
voices. Okay,
God.
good. I'm glad we chose that one.
Okay, Virginia, you cannot hunt
Yeah.
the property until the next day after we fly.
What is
Totally
your
fine.
opinion about this, Mike?
I think if that's how they want to implement a rule, do it. Yeah, I see nothing wrong with that. To make if somebody's using a thermal drone and locates a deer that is alive, you can't hunt that property till the next day. Fine with that.
Yeah, yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
At least some type of regulation. You can't just say don't do it. Don't.
Yeah.
I can't allow it. It's
Well,
illegal. Like,
and at least the state is responding to technology.
oh
and-
well, we don't know that if this was a state for sure. I mean, this is just somebody saying us that this is what it reads.
yeah.
I would say, if you're in Virginia, still do your due diligence to figure out. Because
Wait, you mean-
don't just go
Okay,
off. Well, the Drone Deer Recovery Podcast guys said that you can.
I thought that the way you build businesses is based on YouTube comments. Just that's the source of truth for anything you need to know.
Okay.
Yeah, basically look at the YouTube comments. If there's anything you need to know, that is where you will find ultimate truth.
Sarcasm. We want to get some special guests back on the podcast. If you have anybody that you would want to see on here, leave a comment. Get us in touch with them. You can email me if you want to. I will give you my email, mike@dronedeerrecovery.com, and we'll get them on the Drone Deer Recovery Podcast and talk what it is that they want to talk about. We are wanting to get other folks, maybe not in the industry like that are well known, but have a passion in deer hunting and anatomy of deer and stuff like that. So that will be coming at some point. But for now, I think this is all we got for this one. We're going to wrap it up. Do you have anything to add on this one?
Nothing but thanks for watching,
Yep.
and look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Alrighty, we're out.